What if the next great tech revolution doesn't come with a loud and flashy announcement, but instead begins with a quiet shift, the kind of change you only realize after it has already happened? For years, the action camera market has been locked in a loop of incremental updates, giving us slightly sharper resolution here, slightly better stabilization there, but never truly shaking the foundations of what an action camera could be. We had grown used to expecting small steps, not giant leaps. But behind the scenes, something far more dramatic was being engineered. Something that could change the very DNA of portable filmmaking. The whispers, leaks, and rumors have now painted a clearer picture, and the result is not just another iteration of an old formula, it's a complete reimagining of what's possible in a camera small enough to strap to your chest, your helmet, or your surfboard. The DJI Osmo Action 6 is on the horizon, and it promises to end the race of small improvements by delivering a generational leap, one that redefines expectations in ways that were once dismissed as physically impossible. At first, many skeptics across online forums and tech communities laughed at the idea. They argued the thermal challenges of putting such advanced hardware in a tiny body couldn't be solved, that the compromises would outweigh the benefits, that DJI was being too ambitious. But if there is one thing we've learned about DJI over the past decade, it's that this company thrives on doing the impossible. They turned consumer drones from a niche hobby into a global industry, giving everyday creators the ability to capture aerial footage once reserved for Hollywood. They gave handheld gimbals to the masses, making cinematic stabilization accessible in the palm of your hand. And now, every sign points to them repeating that same story, only this time in the action camera space. For months, leaks, shipping manifests, firmware hints, and insider whispers have all been pieced together like fragments of a puzzle. The result is not a rumor. It's a full profile of a product designed not just to compete, but to disrupt. And at the heart of this disruption is one key breakthrough: the sensor. Action cameras have always faced one Achilles heel, one limitation that has never been overcome: the physics of a tiny body that forces the use of a tiny sensor. Small sensors mean poor low-light performance, limited dynamic range, and a general look that often feels flat and digital rather than cinematic. But the DJI Osmo Action 6 is rumored to finally smash this long-standing wall by introducing a massive 1-inch CMOS sensor. This is not just another spec bump. This is a fundamental change. A 1-inch sensor is the kind of hardware you expect in high-end compact cameras that cost thousands of dollars, not in an action cam that fits in the palm of your hand. And what does this mean in practice? It means sunsets that look alive with detail in the shadows instead of becoming noisy blotches of grain. It means night skiing or stargazing footage that feels cinematic rather than looking like a blurry feed from a cheap security cam. It means richer colors, smoother gradients, and a dynamic range pushing past 13 stops, putting it closer to the territory of cinema cameras. Imagine shooting a mountain bike ride at dusk and actually seeing every detail in both the glowing horizon and the dark forest floor. This is the promise of a 1-inch sensor. And then there's resolution. Leaks point to the Osmo Action 6 being capable of 8K video at 30 frames per second. For many, the first reaction is, why do I need 8K when I don't even own an 8K TV? But this misses the point entirely. 8K isn't just about displaying in 8K, it's about flexibility. Shooting in 8K allows you to crop, zoom, or reframe your shots in post-production while still delivering sharp 4K output. It's like having multiple camera angles baked into one frame. Did you frame a shot too wide? Punch in later without losing detail. Want to create a smooth digital pan or zoom effect in editing? 8K gives you the resolution cushion to do it flawlessly. And for creators who demand slow motion, DJI seems to be delivering there too, with rumors pointing to 4K at 120 frames per second, allowing for buttery smooth slow motion sequences, and even 5.3K at 60 FPS, striking a balance between resolution and frame rate. Add in 10-bit D-Log M color profiles, and suddenly we're not just talking about an action cam anymore, we're talking about a pocket-sized cinema tool. But of course, raw specs are meaningless without durability. An action camera needs to survive chaos, crashes, water, mud, snow, and heat. DJI knows this, and the Osmo Action 6's rumored design looks to refine rather than reinvent, which is a good thing. Expect the same rugged, compact build, but with key improvements like waterproofing up to 20 meters without a case, dual OLED touchscreens that are brighter and more responsive, and DJI's brilliant magnetic quick-release system for accessories. Connectivity is another quiet revolution. Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1 mean faster file transfers, lower latency, and rock-solid connections to DJI's companion app. No more waiting forever for large files to trickle onto your phone. Add to this up to 47 GB of internal storage and potentially 2 battery options, with one delivering over 4 hours of continuous 4K recording on a single charge, and you start to see how serious this upgrade really is. And then there's stabilization. DJI's Rocksteady has already been a benchmark for action cams, but version 4.0 is expected to use AI-enhanced algorithms and gyroscope data to produce shockingly smooth footage that mimics gimbal performance, even during high-impact sports. Horizon lock will also be even stronger, keeping your shots level no matter how much you tilt or spin. And now comes the kicker, the price. Rumors suggest the Osmo Action 6 could launch between $329 and $429. That's an aggressive price for a device boasting a 1-inch sensor, 8K video, advanced stabilization, and pro-level color profiles. At this price, DJI isn't just competing with GoPro or Insta360, it's attacking the heart of the entire action camera market, making every other option look outdated overnight. And this is where the bigger story lies. The Osmo Action 6 is not just a camera, it's a promise. It promises that professional quality video capture will no longer be limited to those who can afford massive rigs and cinema gear. It promises that adventure storytellers, vloggers, travelers, athletes, and everyday creators can all capture their world with unprecedented detail and beauty, without being held back by the compromises of old tech. It marks the shrinking gap between Hollywood and the everyday creator. And perhaps most importantly, it represents the quiet revolution of consumer technology, where groundbreaking advancements don't scream for attention at launch. They simply shift the landscape forever. The Osmo Action 6 may not just be another product release. It may be the loudest bang in action camera history, disguised as a small, rugged box ready to mount on your next adventure. And if everything we've seen so far holds true, then yes, the game is about to change forever.